Welcome to Lead with Clarity. This is a space for leaders who want to grow without losing themselves in the process. Each episode is a short reflection on leadership, influence, and the inner work that shapes how we show up for others. It's not hype, not noise, just clear thinking for the journey of leading well. Today's episode is entitled Getting the Old Ideas Out, the Real Work of Leadership Innovation. Here we go. Every leader collects things over the years: frameworks, instincts, rules of thumb that worked once and got promoted to permanent truth, fun quotes. Nobody questions them anymore. They just run in the background, quietly steering decisions. Today, I want to talk about a line from Dee Hock, the founder of Visa. He said, "The problem is never how to get new innovative thoughts into your mind, but how to get the old ones out." Hock was not a theorist. He built Visa out of a genuine mess, a tangle of competing banks with no shared system and no reason to trust each other. He had to think differently to make that work. And what he found, again and again, was not that people lacked new ideas, it's that they couldn't let go of the old ones long enough to see the new ones clearly. Here's the leadership moment worth sitting with. Think about the last time your team pushed back on a new direction. It probably was not because the idea was bad. It was because letting it in meant letting something else go. A process someone built, an identity someone had, a way of operating that used to be right and quietly stopped being right without anyone noticing the moment it happened. Here's the misread. Most leaders think the problem is a lack of innovation, so they respond by adding more training, more reading, more frameworks, more tools. They treat the mind like a cup that just needs filling. But a cup that's already full does not get better with more poured in. It just spills. Here's the reframe. Innovation is not primarily an act of addition. It's an act of subtraction. The leader's job is not to constantly acquire new thinking. It's to keep clearing space for it. That means being willing to ask a harder question than, what should I learn next? The harder question is, what am I still holding on to that no longer earns its place? This matters just as much whether or not you're using any kind of AI tool in your work. The principle is the same for a small team leader with no technology agenda at all. But if you are leading in an AI-enabled environment, there's a specific version of this worth naming. These tools are very good at generating new ideas quickly. What they cannot do is tell you which of your own assumptions are outdated. They will hand you a new idea. They will not tell you which old idea you're refusing to release in order to make room for it. That discernment is still entirely yours. The tools are not a replacement for that judgment. If anything, they make the judgment more important because the volume of new input is only going to keep increasing. Here's a carry-forward reflection. Think of one belief you hold about your industry, your team, or your own leadership style that you have not actually tested in the last year. Not one you've reaffirmed, one you've tested. If you can't remember the last time you seriously questioned it, that's worth noticing. So let's bring this together. Dee Hock's insight was not about creativity in the abstract sense. It was about clearing space. The problem was never getting new thoughts in. It was getting the old ones out. Great leadership is not measured only by what you've learned. It's measured by what you've had the discipline to release. That's true whether you're leading with a whiteboard and a small team or with the most advanced tools available today. The tools change. The discipline of letting go does not.